Yo, we live on location. Me and the Blackest one out here in the Yay area for NBA All-Star 2025. Today, man, we got an Indianapolis legend, #1 overall pick, Mr. Greg Oden in the building, man. We appreciate you pulling up on us, big fella.
Thank you.
First of all, bro, we appreciate you coming on the show. You know what I'm saying? You know you my guy. I remember when you came in. I always, talk highly of you, rave about you, man, because I feel like you would have been one of the best if you had the opportunity to be the best. Appreciate you on the show, man. Let's have some little fun, man.
Yes, sir. I'm happy to be here, fellas.
When you first got to the league and had the opportunity to play, who's the first person to bust your ass?
Big Baby and Leon Poe.
Dang, that's crazy.
That was crazy.
But nah, I'll say really the one where I really felt it was that first summer league game against Boston. That's when I say Big Baby and Leon Poe.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Practices was cool. I was dunking all over Channing ass like it was nothing. Motherfucker, that first game came and head was on a spin. Them little motherfuckers all up under me. I couldn't move. Leon Poe was strong in the motherfucker. I was like, shit.
Yeah, man, baby.
Man, I was fighting for 4 points.
Yeah.
People sleep on Poe, boy. That boy was a monster.
Poe was strong as hell. Born in Buffalo, but you moved to Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Lawrence North High School, Indiana. You and Mike Conley played together.
Yes, sir.
Y'all won 3 state titles. When did you feel like you was like one of the best in the country?
Honestly, I really never looked at it like that, man, because it was just us. We was always playing up. We was younger. We always just balled, so always playing up. We never could really say we was it because for one, we had Eric Oden on our team who was a year younger than us, and we had Josh McRobert on our team who was a year older than us.
Yeah.
So it was always like, all right, when the game come to the end, freaking EG gonna take the last shot, and you think he the youngest one on the team,
right? And
then you got Josh about to go to Duke. This motherfucker one of the first point forwards, like y'all homeboy LO, like he was like that, smooth, you know. So it was never like we thought we was like it, or I thought I was it, because I was always playing with such good talent. And then we always had Mike that just put everybody together, and then you had Daquan, was fucking the superstar in high school. That's my guy.
I'm glad you said that, because I be saying the same thing now when I see kids. They supposed to be high ranked and they playing in their same age group. You got the 14 and 15-year-old kids, they still playing 14 and 15 when they supposed to play up. Like I always played up. Like Q-Nim was 2 grades above me and I played with Q-Nim, or I played right up under Q-Nim, which was another grade above me. I always played up until my senior year. Everybody else that was my age caught up with me. You see these kids these days, they 15 playing in the 15-year-olds. During high school, they play against seniors and juniors for real. But then AAU, they play against the age group where kids can't really guard them and they kill like that.
Well, let's not forget also, then they get to their senior year and decide to reclassify.
You never played against that.
Real talk.
I mean, do y'all come up, like when we came up and when I started playing with Speece and D Heat, my AU team with them, the first thing they asked me to do, you want to play in the grown man's league? This is in the 6th grade.
Right.
You know, we was always playing to get somebody better. So I guess that was Mike Conley Sr., just making sure we was always prepared
that's how
to
I
handle
was
that.
Raised. Like I was playing in the pro-am before I even started playing AAU or started playing high school ball. I was playing in the pro-am against college and NBA, former NBA dudes and so forth on. But you see these kids, I feel like it slows the growth down of
I mean, it is too,
doing.
but they also only doing like individual workouts a lot, you know.
Yeah, that's the difference. They don't play as much as we play.
Yes,
how was your first experience? Did you go to Nike or Adidas first?
Nike Jamboree in St. Louis,
St. Louis. Oh, okay.
The younger one.
The super sophomore?
Yeah.
We came and spoke to that one year.
Yeah.
But when you do good, the best players get invited to the Nike camp that was in Indianapolis.
Right.
And so I think that was freshman year, and me, Mike, and Daquan got invited from the Jamboree up there, and I think that's when I kind of I don't even remember what I was doing. All I knew, I was dunking the fuck out that basketball.
Straight up.
I don't even know what I scored. I just knew every time I touched, I dunked the basketball.
Yeah.
Winning 3 state titles, y'all won them in a row, right? What was that for you to start getting success all around, everywhere, where they start ranking you and they start saying that even though you played with so much talent, they start like picking you out? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, you the one, you the best.
I mean, but it was old school media at that time. It wasn't like I was rushing home to get on Facebook and see what my rankings
No, you
was.
gotta go in
I
the
only
books,
saw that
Street
in the
Smith.
paper.
Street Smith,
Smith,
Bob
all that
Gibbons.
stuff, yeah.
The magazines, you used to be so happy when you was in the
What?
magazine.
In
Saw
black
your
and white?
name. What?
Your name in that black and white?
So it wasn't like I really heard or really cared about what anybody else was saying. Plus, I had teammates who they wasn't gonna let me get too big of a head. You know, I had actual real friends, that we all came up, we all joked around to each other. So I was just big doofy Greg to them. Everybody else was like, how you just walking around? Like I'm just hooping, I'm trying to be a kid, that's just what I was.
So you won Mr. Basketball your junior and your senior?
No, because Josh McRoberts should have won junior year.
So he should.
He got robbed, actually. Even though Luke Zeller, he did hit a 3/4 court shot to win state championship. I will give him that. He played at Notre Dame, older brother Cody Zeller. But that was Josh McRoberts. Like, he should have been Mr. Basketball. And then I say this too, my senior year, it should have been me and Mike co-Mr. Basketballs. Honestly, as time has shown, it wasn't like if you put, is it me or him, it's definitely him. And as you've seen all the years that he's been doing it and putting players in their best position to succeed and be the best, and him never asking for that limelight, just being the floor general that he is, it's always him.
Dude,
man, everybody loves and one of the best dudes in the league. So
playing
I
with him,
definitely always want to give him his flowers, man.
Playing with him, it made me give a whole nother respect for him. Like, everything that he kind of went through to build up. At one point, he was the highest paid player in the NBA.
All for one day.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but look, he had that though.
Yeah, but talking about Mike, man, tell me how proud of Mike you are to see his growth from y'all playing as a young kids to now, him married with family and the career that he done had, the appreciation that he done got. You know what I'm saying? How proud of you of Mike?
So I've known him since the 6th grade. I started hooping in the 4th grade, 4th to 5th grade. That don't even count. But I'm gonna say this about Mike: just always getting along with everybody he comes in contact with, always being respectful to anybody that he sees, to be there through the high school years, to see him now with his family. It was like, look, I met Mary the same year you met her too, man. We met her in college. So I'm just so proud to see the family that they built and the person that he is. And also I'm very proud to see his adaptation to this new game. He's now the vet on a very young team. He went from probably having to carry the video game and go get the beers to now, you got to play video games all night. He got to adapt with his teammates now. So I'm just happy to see him stick around and still being able to enjoy the game and play at this high level, man. I'm very proud of him.
How dope was it for you to get to go, y'all got to be in the McDonald's game together. That's like that's the crown jewel when you're in high school, getting to the McDonald's game, and then you get to go with your partner. How dope was that experience to get to go together?
Man, it was awesome, man. I mean, also had Daquan with us too.
Damn, Day too.
Yeah, so it was like, always getting to play with those guys in every aspect and experience all those special moments at a young age together. For me, it was calming because I always knew I had my brother with me. So, I didn't have to worry about anything. And I'm thankful to all the people at B always made sure my roommate was Mike. So me and him knew how to get along together, I know how it is going to all those different camps. You got to know everybody, but sometimes you
I got my guy with me.
So,
could it almost been anybody else that got you outside of Ohio State?
If Chris Paul was going to stay at Wake Forest, I probably would have went with Mike to Wake Forest. I would say that. But, Chris Paul left for the league, so it was like Mike wanted to go there to play with Chris Paul, Chris Paul
but it was etched in stone wherever Mike was going.
It wasn't etched in stone, but we had a good visit down there in Wake Forest, I put it like that. It was a good time. Now, I will say this, though. When we went to the Texas-Ohio State football game, and just seeing that atmosphere on that visit and just seeing, like, what that city was, I think we all was kind of like, all right, this is it. Like, this is where we want to be at. But I think Wake Forest was definitely a very, very close second.
You missed a lot of time, well, half of the season at Ohio State, but you played the rest of the season basically with your left hand and still was dominant, just as dominant with your left hand. Y'all went all the way to the finals. Tell us about that, like adjusting to, man, I got to play with my left and I got to still bring a presence on the floor.
That wasn't that hard, man. Look, my game was easy. Look, I block shots, I run the floor, get rebounds, and dunk the basketball. I mean, at that time, like, I wasn't thinking about shooting my jump shot. You know, they wanted me to develop that at the time, but shoot, I'm thinking about the Shaqs of the world. Like, I don't need to do nothing else. You give me an angle, I'm gonna get on that rim.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then especially having a broken hand, and I had like a little soft cast, so I really couldn't, you know, shoot my floater. That's actually when I did start developing my left hand, and I'm really appreciative of that time, you know, because that was at a point where I thought my hook shot was it. I used to throw that bitch and start running down court like Steph, you know. So, you know, I do appreciate that development of that time, but I really didn't need to do a lot. And also, as we say, you have great players on your team, and you got a Mike Conley. You know, it makes a lot of things easier.
Tell us about that season, though, when you know, you hurt, but Mike then was holding it down.
Yes, they were.
You know what I'm saying? They still was a highly ranked team. You know, they didn't really fall deep in the rankings or nothing like that. And when they got you back, y'all made a run in the tournament. So tell us about just that year of them holding it down for you and your first time being in March Madness. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? The levels, you going up the levels and getting all the way to the championship.
So I want to say thank you to Coach Stab Mata, because technically my first game back would have been one game before. And that game was a North Carolina game at Chapel Hill. But, you know, that year, it was us and them, the number one, number two freshman classes. And so he was like, and I didn't know this, he was like, no way I'm going to put that pressure on him coming back. You know, so they won every game start the season till that one. Thank you, because I didn't want that pressure too. I don't know what I would have did. Right. My mind would have went all over the place. Season could have went a different way. So that's why I say thank you to him. But after that, coming back, man, it was just me trying to get my feet in under. You know, we had a great team, Ron Lewis, Jamar Butler, Ivan Harris, who was actually in that McDonald's All-American game with Brown, you know, played at, where Carmelo played at again? The high school.
Oak Hill.
Oak Hill, so he played there as well. So he was our senior on that team. We had Othello Hunter, who's literally still playing overseas right now. You know, we just had some really good talent, and so adding me to it, having a Daquan come off the bench, having Dave Lighty, who's the all-time leader in minutes, games played, I mean, everything. He's like Mr. He-Man. He's still playing over in France right now as well. So it's just having guys like that. Unfortunately, we came up against Florida, lost to them during the regular season, and then we lost to Wisconsin, who we were like 1-2 in the Big Ten that year, and it was just always a dogfight. But of course, last regular game of the season, we got Mike Conley to hit a game winner for us to become Big Ten champs. Yeah. And then we dominate the Big Ten tournament. Now, the tournament was a lot. It was nervousness, but it was fun. You know, just every week, you know, still going to school, just kind of excitement. But I will say, I remember the Final Four weekend. First off, having to go against Big Roy Hibbert, you know, that's a big talk. And actually, the game before that was even bigger, going against Memphis, because when we play AAU, the guys on that team, Willie Kemp and all those guys, they were one of like 2 or 3 teams that ever beat us in AAU. Yeah. So they had a bunch of guys on that team. I want to say Chris Douglas Roberts was on that team. Yeah. So it was like, all right, this is a big one. And we beat them in the Elite 8, and that was tough, but I'm not going to tell that story, but it was a good one, though. Okay, so I got to tell it. So so the center, I think it was Joey Dorsey. he said this in the paper, and I remember my coach brought it to me. It was Alan Majors, the most funniest shit ever. He was like, "Did you see this shit? This motherfucker go, it's like David and Goliath, and I'm Goliath." He was, this brother must have missed Sunday school.
He was undersized, big man, too.
But he was dominant. So that was a little funny story about that game. Final Four, going against Jeff Green, Roy Hibbert, was it Chris Wallace, Patrick Ewing Jr.
Georgetown was good.
Yeah, they was good,
squad.
man. They had JT Jr. coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a tough game, but we managed to pull it out. Going up against Florida, as you all know, Torian Green, my guy, Corey Brewer, Humphreys, the shooter. Then you got Al, Joe Kim, Chris Richards coming off the bench, Maurice Spates, a freshman. They had I want to say Sosa, who's been playing overseas for a while. Like they was stacked.
Oh, well-oiled machine. Right?
Man, what? And coming like they're arguably one of the best college basketball teams in history. Yeah. Actually, they have to be top 5 because it's only like 3 or 4 of them that actually went back to back.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we hit a couple more threes, I would like to say I hope we had a better chance. But fuck everybody that do the Gator Chomp. That shit hurts my soul to this day. I'm a grown-ass man. When I see the Gator Chomp, I see a tear come. I'll be like, you know what? This is some bullshit. But nah, man. I enjoyed my college experience, man. And I will say, the week before I went to school, like it was nothing. That next so the championship game Monday, going to class on Wednesday, I couldn't make it a block without people getting out their cars, asking for autographs, stopping to take pictures.
Damn.
Like literally, I couldn't make it to class. I went back to my dorm, called coach. Like I literally can't make it to class. I'm like overwhelmed.
They were showing love.
That's kind of, so go back to the question earlier. That's kind of when it was like, all right, it's about to happen.
Yeah. Is that when you knew you was getting up out of there?
Actually, no, because I wanted to stay. We was that close. Look, you think about all the times we won in high school, in AAU, and not even mention, like, in 8th grade, we went undefeated as well. So you think about our high school years, like, we barely lost, 10 games, and then probably lost, 3 in AAU, if that? Yeah. So it's less than 15 games from 6th grade or 7th grade up to college, you know? So I wanted to win. But I definitely went and talked to that about coach, and he was like, get the fuck out of here. He laughed. It was like a soft laugh.
You're gonna get me in trouble, man.
Nah, man, you can't do that, brother. He was like, I can't do that to your family. I can't do that to you. When you put in this position, you have to take advantage of that. So I'm thankful for the people around me, and then my life changed after that.
Yeah. Tell us about the draft. When you and your family coming down there, I know you've seen previous drafts, previous #1 picks, you know what I'm saying? But the whole process of you and your family, how it was to see your parents, see you and be happy for you, because it's like that moment, like me and Q always say, when you get drafted, it's like a flashback of everything you went through to even get to this point. You know what I'm saying? A happiness of all the hard work that you done put in to, get an opportunity to get drafted. So tell us about your draft.
It was a whirlwind. I mean, y'all know at the time, all that media training, we had to become professionals from the point where we was just hoopers, coming from where we all came from. So just trying to learn all that, all the classes, just trying to learn how to be professionals, all the interviews that I didn't even know I needed to do. Getting along with KD, honestly, it was like a whirlwind. Like, I really wish I can find the NBA footage, because we did so much stuff that I actually forgot about.
You and him together?
Yeah, we was on we went and rang the bell together.
At the Stock Exchange?
Yeah, at the Stock Exchange. And then we had a couple of interviews, a couple of photo shoots. I remember one photo shoot because it was actually a card, and my ass forgot my shoes. I'm in this actual trading card in Forces. I swear to God, bro. And you can see my undershorts under the regular shorts because it was the photo shoot. But I remember that because that was with KD. But it was just a good time, and all my family came from Buffalo. And I remember this. My uncle, who ended up living with me in Portland.
My
uncle, he had he had just got out. He went to jail when I was in kindergarten. Just got out. First time seeing him. Literally draft night, seeing my whole family, my grandfathers from both sides, my grandmother who never leaves Buffalo comes out, and my mom's flipping out because she got to handle her whole entire family. You already know how that go. But just trying to enjoy it, and I remember my name was called, and I remember, this is old school, and this is one thing, and I apologize to my brother to this day. Well, I haven't. I'm telling him right now I apologize. Remember when you sitting at the table and Krista used to come over and was like, look, you hug the person to your right, the person to your left, and get your ass up there.
You can't hug the whole time.
Man, what? You see these dudes now, I'm so damn mad. They be taking their time.
I took my time.
Did you? Oh, man.
I got my hugs in.
Look, man, I was trying to do exactly what they said. So I feel bad because I didn't go. I ain't hug my brother. You know, I hugged my mom, my dad, and my grandma's right there. I had to give her a kiss. But, you know, walking up them stairs, first one, all nervous. And I honestly didn't know Portland was going to draft me. It was like, Mike got that, like, he got that call, like, a minute before.
I know it was 50-50.
Like,
are they going to get KD or get you? Who's going to be number one?
Damn, so you didn't really know to right up into it.
I mean,
you knew you was going 1 and 2, but you just didn't know.
I knew I was going Pacific Northwest. And, you know, I didn't work out for Seattle. I visited, but I didn't work out. So basically putting all the power in Portland's hands. So, and also, I actually had a secret second workout. Because I couldn't, I don't know what was happening during that training, but I couldn't breathe. Like, I ended up getting my tonsils out during summer league. I ended up leaving early for some reason. But that first workout, I got tired, like, quick. And, you know, them workouts built to wear you the fuck out. So they had a secret second workout at Paul Allen's house. And I actually did good that time.
Paul Allen's house was cold.
Hey, what? We had a couple practices there. You look over at that damn pool. You see the
submarine.
The
guys with the
submarines.
They don't know nothing about it. Paul Allen's. It was
what?
crazy.
It was amazing.
Let me ask you this. So, you know, like I said, I was hurt my knee, so I had a lot of time to spend with you. We a lot of time in the training room and in the weight room together. But we finally got a little bit healthy. And do you remember when we played one-on-one that night?
What happened? Remind me.
You kicked my ass, but I dumped on you. Do you remember that?
I have no recollection of that.
Oh, my God.
Never happened.
You ain't gonna admit it?
Wipe it from the slate.
You ain't gonna admit
it? You know what? First off, I'm gonna admit this. Yes, you did dunk on me. And I'm going to admit, first off, y'all was one of the greatest dunking teams ever, so that's actually a little proud. Hey, do you remember my first workout and you was sitting there watching, and I remember your ass screaming because I was dunking the ball, and I remember you was on the side, you was like, oh shit, where's my phone at? He's a shitter. He's a shitter. I was like, what is that? You dunk the basketball and go,
shit on that ball. He shit on that bit. Hey, I was going crazy.
He's a shitter.
I was happy. I was happy they drafted you, and then when I got a chance to know your personality, and really seeing you, how good you was, man, like I say, that's why I always rave about you, because you had an old school style of play. Like you just said, like, your job was easy. You block shots, you rebound, and you shit that motherfucker every time you get it. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought we was just gonna have a dope team if we could have all just been healthy together with LaMarcus, with B-Roy, Zebo, everybody. We was all healthy that first year. It would've been crazy.
What happened when you first hurt your knee to have to get surgery?
So I grew up with a leg length differential. So I used to walk with a limp, like in high school. And then that's before I could afford orthotics. The school, kind of gave me some in high school. And then I got some in college. But it was always never the exact same. When I got to the league, my orthotics fixed that. So one orthotic was like this and one was like this. So my body was so used to that, like that was just me. Like I had that lean. I swear to God, the first day I got those orthotics, boom, all right, felt weird. Went bowling that night. Came back the next day, literally could not pull my pants leg over my knee. My knee just blew up. the next day after getting those orthotics. I do remember that. And at that time, I didn't question it. I didn't ask, I couldn't really explain it, nor did I think about that at that end. But like when I look back at it, that was the one thing that actually changed and that really affected my body. And then after that, it was kind of just a ripple effect.
I had a bunch of knee surgeries and I was going through it. Tell us about the mental strain that you have to go through every day, like, cause we played all our lives. We so used to playing, the games are easy, you know what I'm saying?
That's
but
the fun
now
part.
having to go in that weight room and stack them days. You know what I'm saying? You have your surgery and man, you go at least 2, maybe even 3 months before you even feel like your leg is actually getting strong enough to get back to it. But tell us the mental strain of it, because you see the D Roses, you see the guys who go through these knee surgeries and then they don't know, the casual fan don't know what you go through mentally to even get back to get the opportunity to try to do it again.
So for me, I have 2 stages of it, because the first one, when I first got in the league, that one was like, I don't know what this surgery is, but I'm out for the whole year. So I guess Portland was trying to take a little bit of pressure of me from rushing back, having all those expectations. So, but I'm hearing that whole entire first year. So I really don't know what to think. All I know is just do whatever they say to get back, just to get back. Like my mind that first year was like, I'm getting back. I got to prove these motherfuckers wrong. So it was like I'm in here every day. Tell me what to do, Bobby Medina. I'm doing it. I don't give a fuck whatever they tell me to do, I'm doing it. Like literally to the T. And then you was isolated from the team because they going off on road trips. I want to go hang out with my boy. They end up pushing him away from me. Now he got to come in the afternoons. I got to come in the mornings. We can't even work out together.
We can't even work out together. They didn't want me around them.
So now we super isolated. And then now I've never been on the West Coast like that before, especially Pacific West Coast, and I'm 19 years old, so I can't go out and really do nothing.
Yeah.
I barely can go out and walk anywhere because I gotta have my crutches, So that was really a struggle. So I kind of did some things, but just to make sure I had fun. And at one point, with all the injuries stacking up, it became more fun than it became basketball. At this point, like that second go around after my technical third year, when I broke my kneecap and I had the back-to-back microfractures, that was a whole different mindset. Like that was a struggle because it was just like I wasn't even a basketball player anymore.
Yeah.
I don't remember even touching the basketball through that time.
Just fucking rehab.
Just literally rehab and weight room. Like I thought I was a professional bodybuilder at that point. Like literally, that's how I lived in that weight room. And Jay Jensen always with me. Like literally, I was a professional rehab person. Like I didn't even think I was part of the team no more. So like when I was released from the Trailblazers, at one point it was just like, all right, I'm never with y'all anyways. Like I really didn't feel like I was a part of the team. Like that year I was released, I think that was the year B. Roy went for his 50 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I was in Indianapolis. Like I wasn't even on the West Coast. It was like I wasn't part of the team. Yeah. So that was a different feeling. And that struggle was, I'm a rehab because I know I want to prove to somebody that I can get back on this court and that I was the #1 draft pick.
Yeah.
So I did it. But again, like I wasn't working on my game. I was just working on being strong enough to be able to run up and down the court for Miami got me, 16 minutes? 4 at the end of the first, 4 at the beginning of the second, 4 at the end of the third, 4 at the beginning of the fourth. So 16 minutes. Like that's all I fought for was just 16 minutes. And then I was on a minute restriction. So if I played in the game, I couldn't practice. Yeah. If I practiced, I probably wasn't playing in the game because 2 practices in a row, I'm all fucked up.
Yeah.
So it was like you never can really gel with your teammates. So, even playing with some of the best players in the world, Brown's gonna make it work. D-Wade and CB's gonna make it work. The Shane Battier's, the UD's, everybody's gonna make it work. But for me, it was like I never got a feel to like actually become me, because at that point I couldn't even push myself to be better.
Yeah.
Because I literally was on a minute restriction. Like it was no pushing myself. It was like, this is all your body got. And then I had no athleticism anymore, which, as I said, that was my game. You know, I didn't add to it while I was sitting out those 3 years. I was just worried about getting my knees strong enough to not hurt when I sat down, you know? So that was a big struggle. And then after that, it was some dark places. Just trying to figure out who I am and what I thought everybody thought I should be.
Yeah.
Or what I thought people were saying about me.
Talk about that, how much, like, because it's one thing, we all know as hoopers, like, you already fighting your own battle, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because you want to hoop, fuck anything else. But then you got the loudest noise ever because, like you say, you the number one pick, and then KD is doing what KD is doing, which ain't making it no more easier for you. So, like, talk about how that perspective is and just how that made it that much tougher for you.
I mean, I literally could not do nothing about it.
Right.
As he's stacking up these points, and shout out to KD, man.
Easy money.
Easy money, man. You sniper, brother. You are the man. You put in that work. And, like, for me, I physically could not. Mm-hmm. But I'm still hearing that. I'm still watching TV. I turn to Inside the NBA, and, you know, they just talking about KD, and Kenny goes, you know, well, you know, it should have been drafted number one, you know, the little slick jokes, you know. Like, for me, at that time, you know, that shit hurt, you know. But, you know, what can I do? You know, it's not like I'm going to go online and have a tantrum about it. You know, all I can do was quietly rehab again, try to get back, try to get back.
They kick my ass on it all the time because I always say, I was like, nah, Greg supposed to have been number one. They was like, you see KD and how good KD, and it's like, I ain't trying to diss KD. I respect KD all the way to the fullest. But you don't know how good Greg Oden fucking was, bro. That, like left hand, right hand, dunking that bit, defense. Like, man, it's just crazy, man, that you know, as we play, because I expected my career to be so much better than what it was. Like, if I look back on my career, I played 10 years, I was really probably hurt 8 of them 10 years I played. You know what I'm saying? Where I wasn't fully all the way healthy to have a healthy season. Then fighting, trying to get back. They don't know, like you said, for them 16 minutes, it's like you got 2 kids on your legs, because it's a full-time job just to get yourself up to play in the game. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the behind-the-scenes shit. Like, you got to get up in the morning. You got to go to the training table. You got to, after you leave the training table, do your ice and all that stuff.
Anyway, it's like nobody wants to do it.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's like a full-time job.
Like, and it's hard.
You know, you got to get out there and get your shots up. After you get your shots up, you got to have the heat packs on to make sure you don't freeze up, because you know when you get stiff with these knees, it's like you a statue. You can't even move no more.
I know. That's how I walk right now.
Straight up.
You see me out there in the skating rink. Boy, these knees do not bend. It's just a straight leg skate.
You already know.
Hey, wait a minute. You go skating, bro?
Oh, man. Well, I took one of my Nike shoes and I sent them to the spot, and they put some skates on the bottom of it. I take my daughter and my wife.
Oh, I need to get that hookup. You gotta
my wife got that for me. I got to find that for you.
Because I had these one people that couldn't find the thing.
6'10", 6'9", 7 footers talking about skating.
Yeah, bro. That's how I learned how to
dribble. I grew up in the skating rink. What you talking about?
That's how I grew up in the skate rink, too.
Man, Skateland, Columbus, Ohio, but I grew up in Buffalo, New York, man.
Be hitting that ball like that, man.
I used to have rollerblades. I used to be skating backwards like a motherfucker.
You already know.
Spinning. I was real life ATL out here.
This man, y'all some damn fools. 6'10" motherfuckers out here on skates, dog.
Out here 7'2".
But that was crazy. Like I said, we was working out. I'm glad you said that, because this how I tell you how Portland used to do your boy, man. We used to work out in the morning before practice start, me and him. They first told me he was going on the road. They first told me, he was like, nah, you can't go on no road trips. I'm like, damn, I can't go on no road trip? He's like, yeah, you can't go on no road trip. So me and him working out. Then they told me I can't work out with him no more before practice. I got to work out after practice. How crazy is that? Man, they used to do your boy D Miles wrong, bro.
They really did.
They used to be on my ass. I'd be like, bro, I get along with everybody. I don't got no problem with nobody.
He was literally helping me out. Like the thing everybody talk about vets, like literally me and him used to talk. Like we working out, but he talking, he giving me game. Yeah. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I remember y'all motherfuckers. I know nobody gonna do it, but I was thinking about this as a car ride. They don't remember this shit. Hey, man, yeah, I remember that shit, man. I know I had to do it. Look, I was over here in the car like, you ain't gonna do it. Like, I had to.
Oh, yeah, bro. But, like, they used to isolate the shit out of me out. Like, I didn't even feel like I was on the team, so I know how he felt when he got to now, because it got to the point, like he said, he was by himself. It's like I'm walking in an empty gym. You ain't seeing no teammates or nothing. The trainer and the weight room guy got to work overtime because they got to stay and work out with you.
That's cold.
Bobby, Todd, Jay Jensen. Shoot, me and Todd basically lived in Vail, Colorado for like 3 months. I ended up living in LA for a summer, rehabbing out there. They sent me back to Indianapolis for a year. Yeah. And you think about it, I was only signed with them for 5 years.
Yeah, that's a lot. This our Emirates segment. It's all about, you know, what a little round basketball can take you. You know what I'm saying? So I assume you, just like us, where was the craziest place that you've been because of the basketball? Like, was your first international trip ever because of hoops?
First international, yeah, it was actually the preseason Vancouver game. We played, I forgot who we played, but me going over to Canada, that was my first time when we got to the league. But I played in China, so
that's right.
That was
how the hell was that? I had, who else? Wilson went over there. Wilson Chandler. Wilson was like, bruh, nah. He was like, cause who else? I think JR or somebody went to like a cool, like more of a city place. He was like, bro, they had me out. I ain't know places like this in China. He was like, bro, it was wild. Like, how was your experience over there?
So it was Shenzhen, and I probably messed up that name. I'll put it like this. I remember that first practice, and I remember I got off the plane, 18-hour flight, straight to the gym. They like, look, you're gonna go through these workouts, and we're gonna play some pickup. I'm straight off the flight. And then it was like, you know, I'm hooping and whatever. I had a couple of jump shots, a couple of hooks, a couple of dunks. I'm like, it's all right, man. Them motherfuckers presented me my jersey right after. Like, literally, I was like, oh, thank you. They was like, all right, you can sign right now. We got a game in a week. I was like, no. I gotta prepare. But no, China was an amazing experience. Like, I never seen anything like it. Because I'd never been over there. The one time I was supposed to go when I played in the league, supposed to go over for Yao's thing or something. Yao had a summer camp or something I was supposed to go to. I didn't make it. But playing over there was eye-opener. I tell people, man, by the end of the season, I was smoking a pack a day. Like, for real, of cigarettes. This is before the game.
Tell me.
Bro, you don't understand. You be in that hotel room, and they cigarettes ain't like ours, though. You hit that bitch twice, that shit gone.
Tell me about, you know, because you didn't get to experience the NBA how you really wanted to experience, but you got the opportunity to play on the Miami Heat team and ride all the way to the finals, even though they lost that final because they came off of winning it the year before. But to be around them Hall of Fame players and, you know what I'm saying, not only them, but the guys that they had coming off the bench and, you know, just the whole team, the Heat organization, how they run their organization and everything. Just tell us that experience, because I know that was like just a dope experience.
Heat culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know it. The Heat culture is defined by Udonis Haslem.
Yeah.
You know, and we all know that type of person he is. One of the best dudes, do anything for you, but he gonna fight everybody in this bitch for you too. And, you know, having some of the best players on the planet and seeing them commit to that type of culture. Weight and body fat, 10% down every Monday.
Yeah.
You know, coming in early. Me and Beasley up in that bitch at 7 getting our workouts in because we the new guys on the team. And Beasley like, shit, I've been this motherfucker before, you know? And me having to prove myself and just being in Miami, and I know where I was coming from in my history in Portland. I became the party dude. I'm in Miami now. I'm like, don't fuck this up, you know? So made sure that I was doing everything I needed to do. That was the last time my body was 10% body fat. I say that.
Bill Ferrin.
Hey,
It's
man,
a great day to
know.
live. It's a great day to live.
It was good, though, because for me, and I say this all the time, I saw super professionalism. Like, I love Coach Spoelstra. I love that coaching staff. And to see everything that he does, seeing from top to bottom. I remember coming in, you know, I got to come in early to get my workout in, but Pat Riley already sitting in the practice gym at 7:30 in the morning, and we just had a back-to-back. I'm like, oh, this is a Pat Riley practice. And before I even knew what that was, you already know, like, Spo didn't want to call this practice. It was a Pat Riley practice. Yeah. But seeing, like, that level of, this is our expectations, and this is how we're going to do it, and this is how we're going to get there. And honestly, like our books from the playoffs, I keep to this day. When I was coaching at Butler, I literally brought those to the gym and put them in my office desk and would look over them to help me with how the Miami Heat looked at things and how we did it back then to help those guys now. And I'm really appreciative of that experience, and also being able to meet Birdman and Shane Battier and to see their relationship is probably one of the funniest things and one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. Those two, I'll be like, y'all really do hang out with each other. Like, they are like the total opposites, but they're so cool together. It was like, you know, getting to know Shawty, like being at Beasley's house every day, me and this motherfucker talking about all right, we don't go out to a club, but we're going to finish this bottle of Hennessy between us and then we're going to go to sleep. That was our way of not getting in trouble or being out in the streets, you know?
Yeah, because you can't be out in the streets in Miami.
No, sir.
They know everything.
Rio, my guy, just handling everything, just taking it, but making sure, you know, he's a 2-time champion, 3 counting college, you know? Nobody looks at him as that guy, but he was a starting point guard for the Heatles, man. Yeah. Norris Cole, Roger Mason, you know, and then the big 3, you know. And it was eye-opening to play with all those type of guys, and even the guys that were brought in during midseason, or even like Joel Anthony on that team, man. It was like,
that's my dog.
I was really appreciative of that experience, even though they did get me, though. So when I was signing, this is how they used Miami. So Mark Cuban told me, I signed a 2-year deal, 2nd-year player option. I want you to rehab the 1st year. Get back to used to being on the team. Miami, we can do the same thing. Well, they just won 2 championships. They've been in the finals 3 years in a row. Well, shit, I love that. If you can do that same thing, shit, you got me. I'm already in Miami. Yeah. Shit, I'm in the hotel, the Mondrian Oriental. Yeah, so, you know, it's nice. I'm going to the spa. Man, I'm going to the spa every day. Damn. Shit, I've been in Miami for about a week. Where that contract at? Let's go. You know, there's some hiccups. Well, shit, give me the guarantee. Fuck it, I'm already here. Like, that's how they got me. If I would have thought better, 2-year guarantee and I get the rehab and 2nd-year player option, I probably could have took my body, changed it. You know, everything they do in Dallas to help people with their bodies. I probably, you know, I'm just foresight, but
I know the game is like that.
Tell me this, right? Because like you said, we all from humble beginnings and things like that. I want to know what Greg Oden, young Greg Oden, did when you got that bag. And I ain't talking about, obviously, you know, you took care of mom, pops. I'm talking about something that you did. You look back for yourself like, that was probably crazy, but like this shit was fun.
So my first charger, you know, I had it like jailbroken. Like when I would put CDs in that bitch, it would copy the CDs. So I had a whole memory of that bitch, like everything.
You said in the car?
In the car, in my charger. Oh yeah.
Hold on.
Literally when I put CDs in it, it would record the CDs. And so like literally had Rolodex of CDs in my car like that I never had to put back in there again.
That's crazy. I ain't never heard of that one.
Never
For
heard
real.
that.
I ain't never heard that one. That's crazy.
The big one was my van, my Chevy Express, my shit. Fucking refrigerator, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 TVs, bed in the back, strobe lights on the top, fucking swivel seats in the middle. That motherfucker, I used to drive to the games. I ain't had no driver back then. My ass rolling up in that bitch.
Like a
that's
real
me.
Scooby-Doo time machine.
Hell yeah, that was me too. Look, coming out with bringing everybody to the game. Just sending, that motherfucker over there was in that bitch too.
That's crazy.
What made you decide to go back and get your degree?
First time was because I did promise my mom, but then at that point my daughter was born. And there was no way I can tell my daughter to get an education if I didn't have one. Mm-hmm. And to go back and get my master's, honestly, I was trying to get into coaching, so I was taking classes. And then when I was at Butler, that was technically my externship. And so I didn't take my final classes, and then just happened this past summer, I was like, I wonder how many credits I got. Look back in the bitch, like, you got 3 classes. I knocked them bitches out. I got my master's.
Nice.
It was like, shoot. And honestly, it's for the things that I really want to do. I wanted to go back and have some credibility. You know, I'm trying to get in the space where, you know, I can go out to teams. You know, I struggled with talking to the team therapist because I just kind of didn't feel like I trusted them that much because I felt like it was a direct line to the team. And how we were treated in that organization at that time, it felt weird. So right now, I know things are differently, but I know sometimes some of these players don't want to talk to a professional. Like, I've been through everything you could possibly think of.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not gonna say I'm a professional therapist, but I am damn near a life coach, and I got the experience to show you.
Yeah.
So where I am trying to move right now is trying to work with individual athletes and teams in that space. So getting my degrees was something that was going to help me kind of validify that.
What made you get into coaching?
Being around basketball. You know, when I tried to step away when I was going through my dark time, that's the most I watched basketball.
For real?
Yeah. Like,
see, when I was in my dark times, I didn't even look at basketball no more.
What? NBA TV was on all day and night.
Yeah,
then
I couldn't look at it
TNT,
no more.
ESPN. That's literally, if I'm not watching Food Network, it's ESPN or it's NBA TV. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, like when we was at the party last night, and Kenny Smith came up, I was like, and Ernie, Ernie, I'm not gonna lie, my wife, she falls asleep to you every Thursday because that's what I watch.
Yeah.
And it started really when I got in my dark place when I was released by Portland because it was like, all right, while I was playing, I didn't want to hear it. And then when I was not playing, I still had that. That's all I cared about. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of what made me fall into coaching as well. I've been doing it since I was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
You got to go back to Portland recently and take in a game, and you got received well from the crowd and things like that. How was that experience for you?
It was amazing. Honestly, you know, through a lot of stuff we talked about, I didn't know what to expect, but I did know that Beth Hancock was there, and she was always somebody that took care and loved all of us. And I knew that going back there and having a chance to take my wife and daughter, it would be special. Just to show, you know, where daddy, you know, just finally got his little bit of notoriety at. And we had a good time, man. You know, I honestly appreciated the Trailblazers organization for just the hospitality, Joe Cronin, the coaching staff, for just kind of bringing me in and I guess not making it weird.
Right, that's dope.
And I really hope more things like that can happen for the Trailblazers because I think there is a group in the span of us guys that are still here. As you know, the guys that were coming around when we were there, you know, a lot older now, but they're still around. But, you know, from you guys,
I
don't know how I say that name, but y'all did some things that I think the fans really did appreciate. When y'all ball. But y'all did some things in the city too. But it was cool.
Last time I was in that bitch, they booed me so hard. I thought
serious?
they cut the speaker up in that motherfucker. They was booing so hard. That shit was vibrating like stadium. Boom. That's how that shit sounded.
I didn't know that. But I do think, a lot of us in these years that was gone, that I think the Trailblazers probably would like to bring around and champion a little bit more. Just because, you want to bring that. I think a lot of these organizations do that, and I want to see that happen in Portland.
Yeah, that definitely would be dope, but I don't think I'll be on that list. Start bench trade. You're a historian, so Patrick Ewing, Lonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo. Who do you start? Who do you bench? Who do you trade?
You gotta start Patrick. You bench Alonzo. You bench Alonzo and you trade Dikembe. I hate to say it, terrible fact. Dikembe's last game, he got injured against me.
Against you?
And he didn't play no more after that. It was a play, we was going up for a rebound. I remember he hurt his knee, and he didn't play no more, and I always thought about that. It wasn't nothing, it doesn't mean nothing, but to me, I'm like, damn, that's a great Dikembe Mutombo, man.
R.I.P. Dikembe, man. That was our guy, man. One of our best interviews on here, man. He had us going, man.
Yes, sir.
So, you played with a lot of teammates, You had a lot of teammates a few years that you played. Everybody in their prime. Every teammate you had from Portland to Miami, if you had to put an ultimate five together.
You the five, though.
You the five. Who was the other four guys?
So, okay, we in positionless basketball now.
Or
am I going 1 through 5?
I know who I start with y'all. With you?
Well, first I was B. Roy Brown, D. Wade, and I'm gonna say Andre Miller, man. I love Miller. I love Dre, man. Because Dre the type to look at all the motherfuckers and be like, nah, I'm gonna get my big fella to eat first, and then I get the ball, bro. Yeah. So I always respected him able to talk to Nate like that. Yeah. I respected him able to just control the team like that. Yeah. So I guess that would be my
Shout out Dre Miller, man. One of the coolest guys ever.
Yes, sir. There, who you got?
I would say you, Bosh, Brian, B. Roy, and D. Wade.
I mean, that's the one, basically. But I tried to go into like a position.
I feel.
D can play the 2, B. Roy can play the 3, Brian can play the 4, and Dre 1, I guess. I'm old school in that sense.
I feel.
But of course it's Chris Bosh. Hey, that motherfucker, we went back to Portland, I ain't gonna lie, and he said, hey, give me the motherfucking ball.
That's when he became winner?
Yes, because him in L.A., from Texas. Yeah, that motherfucker hit that shit. You know how happy I was. I was talking shit in my head like a motherfucker. So
I remember that.
Appreciate CB, honestly, man. He was one of the coolest superstars, like, on that team that I saw. Like, he was
had
just
to
so
sacrifice the most.
Yeah, exactly. And he never complained about it, or at least you never saw him bring that up in anything. And I really did appreciate, and that motherfucker won a lot of games for us, man.
Well, man, bro, we appreciate you pulling up on us.
Thank you, my brother.
The real one, Greg Oden in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate it.
Man, thank y'all for having me.